Hi, I'm Dr. Kim Davis. I'm the founder and CEO of RunLab, and we want to talk to you today briefly about the number one issue that brings people into our facility, and that's knee pain. It's also the number one thing that stops runners from running every single year. It's a huge problem in the industry. And so we work with clients on their gait mechanics and the way that they move. And so we wanted to talk today about a common thing that we see that's contributing to runners' knee pain. And that's something called an overstride. And you may have heard about heel striking, midfoot striking, forefoot striking, these ways that people run. And kind of heel striking gets a bit of a bad rap because people think striking on your heel is bad. But what's really bad is the overstride that goes with that. Landing on your heel when you come crashing through the air onto the ground is bad if your leg's too far out in front of you. If it's underneath your body, it's perfectly fine. So this overstride means that you're sticking your leg too far out in front of you when you land, and that can cause tons and tons of stress on the anterior, the front of the knee. It causes problems in the bone, it causes problems in the muscle and the tendons that attach to it. It's just a very bad thing. So one of the things we do to work with people in the clinic is we work on shortening up their stride. And we do something called a cadence drill. There's a lot of causes of knee pain, but this is just a really common one that we work with a lot. So in order to work on your cadence, so what can happen is if you're turning over really slow, so if you just don't, cadence meaning the number of times per minute your foot hits the ground. So if you're running at a really slow cadence, that means you have a lot of time to get that leg way out in front of you and come land on it and load and create stress. If you have a high turnover, that leg really makes very brief contact with the ground and gets off the ground again. And it usually doesn't have time to go out in front of you in a big overstride. So what we do is we'll take somebody, put them on the treadmill, put them at a certain speed, whatever speed they're comfortable with. We count their cadence, we figure out how many times per minute their foot hits the ground, and then we'll keep them at that same speed and we'll try to up that cadence. So if they're running at 100 and we'll call it 65 on one side. If they're running at 65 times they hit the ground on one side at a certain speed, we'll try to get them to hit 70 times per minute at that same speed. And what that does is, again, it shortens their stride up and helps them bring their foot underneath their body and not overstride, and takes a ton of stress off of the knee. Like to have an overstride and to kind of stick that leg too far out in front of the body. And then again, how to shorten that up, keeping the speed the same. That's the big tip, is make sure you keep the speed the same when you work on these drills. And a good way to do it is to use music. So it's hard to count in your head and figure this all out, but if you use music that's at whatever beats per minute you want to run to as your goal, that's a really nice way to teach your body how to do it without having to think about it and count. Something we do in the clinic a lot. So if you'd like to learn more about your own gait or what we do as a company, you can visit us at www.runlabaustin.com, or you can find us at 512-266-1000. Thank you.